In today's video, I'm going to be talking about church people and church shopping. And my other church people videos struck a chord with a lot of people. And I wish I didn't have additional stories to share with you on this topic, but I do. And I am spilling the tea today on Church People Part 3. So approximately 2 years ago, we were living in the Mid-Atlantic region and looking to relocate to Central Florida. So with the wonderful YouTube, it makes shopping for a church much easier. And before I get into my story, I just want to remind you that I greatly appreciate when you subscribe to my channel and you go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. It tells YouTube to share this video to more people. So I really appreciate it. Thank you. So while I was church shopping from several states away, I had really narrowed my search down to two. One was a denomination I was not super familiar with. I'd heard of it, but I'd never gone to one of their churches. And I had contacted the pastor, and he seemed super friendly and welcoming, and I really liked him a lot. The other church I narrowed it down to was a denomination that I was very familiar with. I have been involved in a outstanding Bible study with this same church for 14 years now, and I still attend online. Thank you to technology and Zoom. I can still participate from many states away, and I'm very grateful for that. So that denomination I really wanted to stay with in relocating to Central Florida. And I'm not mentioning the denominations because at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. Church people are church people, regardless of the denomination. So this particular denomination, I thought, yes, I want to stay with it. I've enjoyed my Bible study for so many years. So it was about a good half-hour drive, but that's fine. We don't need to go to the church next door if it's a good church. So we started attending at both of the churches that we were considering that had made the final list. We go to one church on Sunday, and then the next Sunday we go to the other church, just to get a feel for it. Because you can watch online, but until you actually walk into the church, you don't always feel it. And you will walk into a church and you will feel that the church is just dead. Nothing is going on there. You don't feel a movement of the Holy Spirit. So it's important, of course, to go to the church. So we go to this church, and it's a very well attended. It's a large church, and I thought I need to meet people. I need to get involved. So I joined a women's group, a women's Bible study, and I went to it, and there were about 4 women in the group. They were not overly welcoming. They were a little bit, I don't know how to say this, they were a little bit grouchy. They just weren't, I don't know, not a lot of smiles in the group. And it just, I think I went to that group twice and thought, ooh, I don't think that's a fit for various reasons. So the pastor had asked us to come and meet with him and talk to him about possibly becoming members of the church and just to get to know us in general. So we met with the pastor, and he was fantastic. Really nice guy. All of us hit it off. We liked him a lot. He was so personable, so open with his own journey. And I told him about the women's group that I had gone to, and he said, "Oh, no, don't. That is not the group for you. Join this other women's group that is run by a woman on their leadership team." And he said, "You will like it so much better." So I was relieved that there was another good option, and that he really strongly recommended this second group at the church. So I did go ahead, and I emailed the woman who was leading it. She held the group out of her home, so I asked her if there was room for one more. Her email was, yes, of course, please come. So I did. It was a group from anywhere from 8 to 12 women, depending on who showed up that day. I don't remember how many times I went. I went 4 to 5 times would be my best recollection. And the group was so frosty. They had obviously been together for a while, and they had no interest in a new person and a person that had a different perspective than they did. They would discuss politics a lot openly during the Bible study. It would come up time and time again, especially during their prayers. And I don't want this video to be political, but they assumed that everyone in that room felt the same, and I did not. So it was very uncomfortable because the group was very much heavily to one side. And they were talking about that they have a Friendsgiving at Thanksgiving every year, and that this year one of the members had built a new home, so it was going to be at her house, and they were all excited to see her new construction home being built, and excited that that's where it would be this year for a change. And they were openly, talking about it while, I'm sitting there, and there's a person on one side, a person on the other, and they're, talking back and forth about this group, this Bible study, having a Friendsgiving. And never once was I invited. Now, I actually would have said no, because obviously this group had been together for a long time. They weren't overly welcoming, so I certainly wouldn't have wanted to go and have a meal together. That was, I had no interest in that. However, I was absolutely not invited, even though this was the highlight of their year together. And when the last that particular Bible study was ending about a week before Thanksgiving, and then when we finished, the leader of this Bible study said, okay, that's it. We're not going to see each other again until January. Now, of course, I knew they were having their Friendsgiving, so everyone was like, right, we won't be seeing each other again. I'm like, you don't have to pretend, it's fine. But I was thinking, this just isn't the group for me. This doesn't feel like the love of Jesus. I didn't feel a movement of the Holy Spirit. It didn't seem at all like the denomination that I was familiar with. I actually went on their website and triple checked that they actually were the same denomination that I was familiar with, and technically they are, but they are like chalk and cheese compared to the last congregation. So I never heard from her again. They were starting up a new Bible study. She was going to be in January. She was going to be emailing everyone. She didn't include me in any emails about the next study, so I took that as a hint. I don't always take a hint, but that one I did. I'm like, okay, so you're starting up again, and I'm not on the invite list. What was shocking to me was that this person that ran the group was one of the core leaders of this congregation. So that was so disappointing. Just as a Christian, that another Christian would treat a sister in this way. So, and to be on the leadership team was shocking. So that is my story. We stopped attending church there. We narrowed it down to the one church that was and is super welcoming, very friendly. So I did find a church. I do attend church. That's the end of the story. But church shopping in Central Florida was a rough ride. And hopefully Hopefully you can't relate to this story. That would be ideal. But if you can, go ahead and leave a comment below about what kinds of things you've experienced when you have been looking for a new church. Thank you for watching.